you have your friends back in the day. You have these values instilled with you that kind of it allowed you to discern that you didn't want to hurt people, you didn't want to be instigating violence, that you didn't want to be discriminating against others. Even well, I'm kind of putting that in. You didn't say that, but I assume that's part of it as well.
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, sure.
So, so I guess my question to you is, right? Those values are still within you today, all this time, right?
Sure.
But what about your friends, right? What about your friends who wanted to start a race war? What about other people in your environment who maybe wanted to discriminate against people or lord themselves in a superior fashion over people based on race? Do you think that it's possible that they feel similarly about the values that were instilled within them, about their own superiority based on race, or about the idea of other people's inferiority based on race?
Well, I'm in touch with some of them still today. Thanks to the internet, thanks to Facebook, I found Anthony, who I lost contact with at 14. I found John Olson, who I dearly loved, my high school friend around the neighborhood, who I left, I guess, flat. I went out of touch when I married Isolde back when I was 26. And Frank, who was my best friend in high school, the school proper, he lived in a different part of the town, so we didn't need to see each other out of school very much. I'm in touch with all of them, those three. Those are the only real friends I ever had. So it's ironic. They're still alive, they're still well. As near as I can tell from discussions I've had with them, which were not on this subject at all. This was not in our mind. But as we share ideas and histories and um, frustrations, if that's the right word, I don't have any sense of what I would call that old school prejudice or sensibility or on that at all. I've never had any reason to have a discussion specifically on it. It just didn't appear. And I didn't hear it come from them just out of their own dialogue. So, no, I'd say that they morphed into where I did. I'm betting. Uh, I've worked for 16 different companies, some of them with tens of thousands of employees, some of them as few as maybe 100 employees. I've worked in international environments throughout Europe, uh, many different places in the nation. I don't recall much of what a lot of folks on the forum Discord would call racism. I think I saw the best practices of the HR departments in all these companies, only looking for the best hire that they could find, which probably was a mix of talent, experience, attitude, aptitude, at a pay scale that the company had defined it wanted to pay. I don't think when I go down to I used to go down the assembly line of the last company in particular that I worked at because I used to like to watch it grow. The reason I liked to watch it grow was because it was a measure of how much I was contributing to people being hired. I liked that. The money came along with sales, yeah, but I never sat down and counted the money. I looked at how the business was being impacted and people were being impacted.
Very similar to being a teacher, I would describe that as.
Yeah. Well, I always considered myself a teacher and a philosopher because of the mix of that I had to be sensitive to and participate in with all of the people who, when I called them, did not know they wanted to see me until all of a sudden they wanted to see me and then they wanted to be partners. I mean, that is a wonderful, wonderful process of development I was in the grocery store probably 10 years ago, and a young lad who I did not recognize came up and grabbed my hand and shook it, a half hug, and he thanked me. And then when he started explaining, everything came back. He had gotten a full ride scholarship to a school as a pitcher for baseball. And he credited me with being the enabler of that. And now, what a wonderful, wonderful feeling to know that you affected somebody positively. Conversely, I think the worst feeling I probably ever could have had is if I had done something to stop somebody from achieving what they wanted to achieve. I recall now a sad story not too many years ago when Christina was at the doctor and I was sitting on the bench, and there was this very dapper black guy sitting next to me. And we began to talk. And as the conversation went on, he was really smooth. He was dressed to the hilt. And he was telling me that he was educated in architecture. He got graduated as an architect, but was denied ever practicing it because of the prejudice of architectural firms in those days. And my heart was breaking for him that that had happened. I felt so sad. I don't even know if he was conning me, if it was a real story, to be honest with you. But it was effective. No, I never would have wanted that to happen. That
Well,
would be
I
terrible.
mean, that just shows your good heart, that, you believe in growth and promoting growth in other people. And not everyone is like that. Not everyone has that as a value or appreciates the value of that.
Well, it starts with our parents. How much genetics from social status it plays into that, I have no idea. But I would think that I'm my mother and father's genes, and so to some degree I'm starting out as them, with tweaks here and there, and then I expect to get the same nurture from them that I got. So the consistency of my nurture and my genetics was there, and it was. I mean, it was just an easy childhood. Not everybody has a chance at that. I'm really lucky.
Thanks for watching. For access to the full length conversation and all of the 2 hour long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support and see you next time.